So I knew nothing about this movie going in, and that's actually really refreshing in today's day and age. So Edge of Tomorrow is the latest summer blockbuster to hit theaters, and this one stars Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt in the leading roles. And like I said, this was a movie I actually did not know a lot about going in. I just knew it had sort of a Groundhog Day thing going in, but I had seen a lot of reviews and I had seen a lot of people just absolutely praising it. So I decided to go check it out and go see it, and I was actually really enjoying it. This is a pretty good movie. This actually has some of the best action scenes I've seen in recent years, and this is a great case for why the summer movie season of 2014 is one of the best in recent memory. This movie is a lot of fun. So the movie's about these aliens. They invaded Earth, and now we're trying to fight them, but we just keep getting our asses handed to us, and there's like no way that we could win against these things. And it's just a horrible slaughter anytime we even try to. So they invent these suits that you can actually sort of fight them in, but even with those, we're still just getting absolutely butchered. And Tom Cruise plays a character who's sort of a pacifist. You know, he does not want to fight. He's completely opposed to it. But something happens and he gets forced into combat anyway. And in his first, battle, he's just killed almost immediately by one of these things. But he gets its blood on him, and he contracts this virus from it that allows him to relive the past, I think, 2 days over and over again. And to the point where he's just going in and just completely wasting these aliens left and right, just knowing every way they're going to try and come at him. And that was some of the coolest stuff of the movie, was where he just, at this point he already knows what's going to happen, so he could just, sidestep these things completely and just completely obliterate them. That was some of the coolest parts of the movie. So he goes to find Emily Blunt, who had the same virus from the blood inside her at some point, and so she helps him train and helps him get ready for battle so that they can actually get off this, this battle, this skirmish at the beach, and hopefully find this giant thing that controls all the aliens and hopefully destroy it. And it sounds, like a pretty straightforward concept, but there are such cool action scenes and some really funny moments that it really does elevate it over its, we have to find this and destroy this to stop everything premise. I really like Tom Cruise in this. I think Tom Cruise is very hit or miss. Sometimes he's just sort of playing just a bland action hero, but here he actually does a really good job. He was not the character I expected he was going to be. Like I said, he was this big pacifist at first, and I really did not expect that, and I think he did a really good job playing that character, and he was a pretty funny and pretty interesting character. And so that was a surprise for me. I also, of course, I love Emily Blunt's character. She's one of my favorite actors working in Hollywood right now, and she just did a great job. She was just a complete badass, and she was just wasting these things left and right, and you really got to like her character, and you really started to believe the chemistry between her and Tom Cruise's character. And that's really one of the best things the movie has going for it, is the two stars do have such great chemistry, but more importantly than that, they're not afraid to have their funny moments, and the movie's not afraid to have its funny moments, and that is something I commend it for immensely in an era where most summer movies, or most big blockbuster movies in general, are just doom and gloom all the time. This movie knew when to have fun with itself, it knew when to be serious, and that really was the best thing the movie had going for it. Because when you're dealing with a premise like this, where you have to keep going over and over and over again, it can get very grating. But they knew how to keep it fresh by throwing in some really good humor and some really cool action scenes in there. And you get to see so many new scenarios to the same sort of situation. And that's just really interesting to see, and it was done really well. The action was filmed really well. It wasn't all up close and shaky to the point where you couldn't even see anything. There are a few of those moments, but for the most part, you get to see everything that's going down, and it stays, pretty well maintained, and you get to see a lot of this war that's going on, and that's really cool to see in an age where movies think that doing this with the camera is somehow going to make the action more invigorating, and it doesn't. It just gives people a headache. I feel like this movie isn't going to do that well at the box office, and I'm really worried about that because I'm afraid that it's not going to do well. So studios are going to think that no one wants to go out and see a big summer blockbuster that isn't based off a comic book or something else like that. To my knowledge, this movie is based off a book, but I don't know how popular that book is, and they don't even advertise it in any of the trailers. So I'm afraid that's going to, dissuade studios from actually looking into more interesting properties that aren't superhero movies, and probably it's going to persuade them to keep doing what they're doing with trailers, with just spoiling everything and ruining so many plot points that would have been cool. And I'm really happy, like I said, that the trailers for this movie did not do that, but I'm afraid that its box office returns are going to put us further into that trend, and that's something I'm not looking forward to, because I like seeing trailers, and I don't like having the entire movie spoiled for me. So that's kind of something I want to avoid. It's a really enjoyable time. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it may have some of the coolest action scenes I've seen in any recent summer blockbuster. I liked it a lot more than I liked Days of Future Past, and I really loved Days of Future Past, so I really can only give this movie a 5 out of 5. It's just a great movie. You should all do yourselves a treat and go out and see this. Make sure this movie makes a lot of money at the box office, because it deserves it. This was a great movie, and you all should go out and watch it. Okay, so you watched my review for Edge of Tomorrow. Why don't you go watch some of my other reviews right here, or if you want to stay updated on my reviews as soon as they come out, you can click this little subscribe button, or you could follow me on Twitter, or there's that too, and I'll have those links down below, because and hey, the internet still hasn't come to kill me yet over the Fault in Our Stars review, so let's see how long that takes. Let's see if I make it to my next review. I might not, so let's wonder what'll happen.